Well, they may only have had 9 men against 12, obviously the referee. But Plymouth, this is a team that people are starting to become proud of. We'd have thought we'd been saying that a couple of weeks ago. Welcome to our Pilgrim's Walk. We are reviewing the QPR game and looking ahead to the return of Stephen Schumacher. Welcome. Carl is back and looking forward to this next game as Stoke and Stephen Schumacher return. We'll get into all that and what that means in a second, but we've got lots to talk about. Transfers, of course, as the deadline day closes shut this week, and also we look back at the QPR result, which was, I think, one of certainly most improved performances. It seems to be getting better and better, aren't you guys? Carl, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, the players are responding clearly to what Rooney's telling them, which is a positive going forward. The only downside, I come on every week, as a little downside is what was Forshaw thinking with that tackle? You score you score an equaliser, okay, let's get a foothold in the game, and let's not do anything silly. What does he do? Slides in, second yellow, gone.
We'll get onto that in a second. The second year in a row, though, that you've gone to Loftus Road and caused them havoc and stolen a point away. But given the defending, we'll come on to the goalkeeper in a minute. That was a deserved point in the end, definitely, wasn't it?
Yeah, all day long when you're down to 10 men, I don't think we'd get a point. I honestly thought QPR would just rally men forward and they'd eventually score. But I hold my hands up. Hazard, he's proved me wrong. He proved me wrong this week. He earned the right to wear the shirt on Saturday. So fair play to him. But I think he now knows he's under a bit of pressure with the signing of Dan Grimshaw, which looks very promising for us.
Yeah, signed for Blackpool, hasn't he, this week? But people are saying, Hazard, a week ago when he was wasting time against Hull, people wouldn't believe we're saying this, but a week on, man of the match performance. I loved how he dropped his trophy, though. I mean, saved so much. Do you think the signing has done that to him? Do you think that he knows his position is under threat? Sometimes people pull out performances like this. He's not an awful keeper, is he? But at times he's has let you down.
Well, yeah, this goes back to what I was saying at the start before the season started. I said he's good for like backup keeper cup games, yeah. But when you're in a league like the Championship, constantly under pressure, constantly having to supreme talent throwing at you, shots all over. Most of the time, he's not been on the same wavelength. But Saturday, I think he went right. Time to prove the fans wrong and prove to the manager I do deserve to be in the first name on the tee sheet. And to be fair, he did. But I think that's because of the signing. I think before that, obviously, no disrespect to Zach Baker, but he's in the under, I think it's the academy, young under 18s or whatever. So he feels like, okay, it's my number one spot's mine for a little bit. I can just take my weight off a little bit. But no, you can't in this league because they'll punish you as Sheffield did.
Here's some takes from the game. David Stevens says, "I'm so proud of my club today. Well done, lads. One of the worst referee performances I've seen in many years. Argyle should have had a penalty." Gavin was a joke, and there's a theme to lots of tweets I'm sure you'll have read. First of all, did you think you should have had a penalty?
It's 100% a penalty, but what's the point? Referees, they're never going to admit to it. He had a shocker, an absolute shocker, and he always does against us. It's the same every time we have him. When he's down at home park, same thing. When he's away, same thing. He just has, I don't know, some vendetta against us, but it's the same referee every time. As soon as I knew he was in ref, I thought, oh, it's going to be one of those days. And it was. It definitely was one of those days.
Nice to see Morgan Whittaker scoring, and had we not seen the Oxford goal, that would have won a goal of the day. What a beauty that was. he has a smile on his face this game as well. We haven't seen him play with that so far this season. Do all things look sorted in the Morgan Whittaker camp for going forward, or were we expected to still see a late bid for him? Do you think?
I think he's done that as a statement to other teams around him, looking at him like, that's what I can do. Come get me. Personally, because if he can do that then, why didn't he do that against Hull? Why didn't he do that at the tail end of last season? It's one game, okay. He did put on a good show. He was better running after oppositions, and yeah, he did better shifting. But why can't he do that every week? That's my argument. But again, we shall see at the end of this week. The end of this week, if he's in our squad or not. Still, we shall see.
Fingers crossed that. Hazard was outstanding. We've heard lots about that. Brilliant point, fix the small mistakes, and sign a defensive midfielder. And I don't see why we can't hit mid-table. I'll come back to that one in a second, if that's all right. And Harry says, how have you managed to pull it off for the second year in a row? I used to like Plymouth, but now getting sick of you. And that's from a QPR fan. All right, then, just on the signings then, Carl. So transfer window is shut this week. You've got a away trip to Watford, haven't you, in the Cup, and then we'll talk about Stoke in a minute. What needs to happen between those two games for this to be a decent window for Plymouth?
Well, I think he needs to rotate tomorrow night. The players who have been fringe or not played at all need to be put out and say, right, this is your 90 minutes to prove to me why you should be in the squad for the season. Because if you don't, I'm sorry, we'll be looking to place you elsewhere. And if he doesn't do that, I reckon he'll have a big problem because he'll come to like 2 days before and it's like, I need more players, but at the same time, I need to get some out. And he hasn't really given them a chance, which I don't believe in. You should always give a chance to these players, no matter how old or how young, and prove to them why they want to be in this team.
Do you need a defensive midfielder, regardless of what happens against Watford? Do you need to go back into the transfer market before Friday? And if so, what sort of positions do you need it for?
Absolutely. And this is a worry I have. So if Morgan goes, which is a possibility, I'm 50-50 on it at the moment, you need a replacement. If Gibson goes, which not many people have talked about, but Luton is still hovering in the background, just keeping an eye on him. And what if they come in with a bid that you can't turn down? And that's another player gone. So really, we need to be on our toes with replacements ready because who knows what happens at the end of the transfer window? It all goes crazy, as we know.
Okay. All right. And then the final bit we need to talk to you about, of course, is your next game, which is Stoke City, who haven't done so well in the last couple of weeks. But of course, their manager is someone that you know incredibly well. What sort of reception? Silly question, but what sort of reception do you think he's going to get? He will expect a good one. Will he get it?
He'll get half. He'll get half a good reception, and he'll get half a hostile reception because I think that's what the fans will want. They want it to be a hostile place for them because he won't like their team will feel that. And as we proved last year in the last-minute winner, anything is possible. Anything is possible in this league. But I know he was manager at the time, but things have changed now, and Rooney can go right. This is my game to put my stamp on it. Now I'm here, not Stephen, me. He can turn around and go right. You prove to me why you want to be in this team, and prove to me you love this club. And that's all we can. That's all we can ask for. All these players. That's all we can ask for.
Do Plymouth fans get it though? Because as much as he did well for you, he was offered probably obviously more money at a club which was less travelling for him from from his family. So, do most Plymouth fans, whilst they won't like him leaving, of course it happened to you with Ryan Lowe. Of course, it's the second time, but do most decent Plymouth fans recognise the job they did for them?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was there when the Ryan Lowe came back, and I witnessed the reception he got, which I think is going to be very similar, if not more hostile or less. I'm not sure yet. But again, it comes down to not a lot. I can see why he's done it. How man's I can see why he's done it. Money, But his family moved down here, and they still live down here, from what I've heard. So he's living up there on his own or with Mark Hughes or whoever. But it's not the same. And if things go wrong, he'll look and think, should I have left? But again, he'll have no regrets of taking the job. Fair play to him. But at the same time, this is the problem with Argyle's location. Southwest, all the top. Well, obviously Wayne Rooney is like once in a lifetime. But with all these big managers, they'll let. Oh, I don't want to go down there. Don't want to go down there. So we getting people chances, and they've just not jumped ship, but like not gone. Okay, no, I'm ignoring it. I'm going to stay here and finish what I've started. That's how I feel, anyway.
All right, let's get a score prediction from you then. Will you silence Schumacher this season?
Yeah, firmly believe 1-0 last minute winner.
Well, if you are selling plastic snakes in the vicinity of Home Park this Saturday, you may do a roaring trade. Good luck against Stoke Carl. We will see you next week when we will be previewing and reviewing, obviously, the Stoke game and talking about just how good of a job Plymouth did in that window. Thank you, Carl. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, mate.